So it's been known for a while now that there was no plan for the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. How you messed that up like they did, I have no idea. I have no idea why you would even want to mess up such a beloved franchise when you could just do it right and make tons of money. But they found a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, I guess. J.J. Abrams was the first mistake to bring on board for this movie. And now he's moving on to DC Comics movies. I'm sure he's going to mess those up too. Everything this guy touches ends up going into the trash bin because he's just not very good at being a visionary. Anyone that's been following this guy's career knows exactly what I'm talking about. But he's came out and basically reflected that it's good to have a plan. It's critical, in fact, to have a plan. And he's right. So why didn't you have one for Star Wars? Though I guess it's totally not on him. Or I mean, it's not totally on him, right? There's Kathleen Kennedy to blame, Lucasfilm. There's a lot of reasons that the Star Wars trilogy is a disaster. But he's still got a big part of it. And he's gonna, I'm not looking forward to DC movies with him. But anyway, let's take a look at what he had to say. This is in response to this question on the 4K Blu-ray of Super 8. He was asked about his creative handoff. Specifically, does he feel the Star Wars trilogy would have benefited from having a plan from the very beginning? And answering, Abrams drew from his wealth of experience in television. I've been involved in a number of projects that have been, in most cases, series that have ideas that begin the thing where you feel like you know where it's going to go. And sometimes it's an actor who comes in, and other times it's a relationship that as written doesn't quite work. And things that you think are going to just be so well received just crash and burn. And other things that you think like, oh, there's a small moment or that's a one episode character suddenly become a huge part of the story. I feel like what I've learned as a lesson a few times now, and it's something that especially in the COOF year, working with writers has become clear. The lesson is that you have to plan things as best you can. And you always need to be able to respond to the unexpected. And the unexpected can come in all sorts of forms. And I do think that there's nothing more important than knowing where you're going. He acknowledged that sometimes the plan is the thing that gets in the way. There are projects that I've worked on where we had some ideas, but we hadn't worked through them enough. Sometimes we had some ideas, but then we weren't allowed to do them the way that we wanted to. I've had all sorts of situations where you plan things in a certain way and you suddenly find yourself doing something that's 180 degrees different. And then sometimes it works really well and you think like, wow, that really came together. And other times you think, oh my God, I can't believe this is where we are. And sometimes when it's not working out, it's because it's what you planned. And other times when it's not working, it's because you didn't have a plan. But he says he's learned the hard way. You just never really know. But having a plan, I have learned in some cases the hard way, is the most critical thing because otherwise you don't know what you're setting up. Then you don't know what to focus on. And if you don't know the inevitable story, you're just as good as your last sequence or fact or joke or whatever, but you want to be leading to something inevitably. And he's right. So that's the question. That's his whole answer to that question. But it's just, he's trying to damage control for sure. Star Wars was a disaster. Those movies aren't going to hold up in a few years. No one's going to care about them. And yeah, you should have had a plan. You should have had a plan. But even if he has one, how good is that going to go? And how do you mess things up as bad as he has, right? Like not knowing what you're going to do with Rey. You put Snoke in there, then you don't even know what's going to happen with him. So you just turn him into a clone, let alone you kill him off in the second movie. I don't want to spend too much time criticizing the sequel trilogy because we all agree that they're terrible movies. Terrible movies. I'm sure few of you out there like them. Go back and watch them 10 years from now and you tell me if you still like them, though. Because that's that's the real question, is how these movies stand the test of time. I think that they've flat out ruined the Star Wars movies forever. They really have kind of watered down the branding, the way that they kind of shit on the legacy of a lot of characters and threw them into the trash. We would have been better off not knowing or just sticking to the EU. To be honest, I wish that these movies would never have been made. If you want my honest opinion, I wish they had never made the sequel trilogy, because no matter what they make in between the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens, which they're trying to mine out, like, all roads lead to Jake Jedi, or Jake Skywalker. I'm sorry. So yeah, you might have had a cool, awesome, badass Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian, but that still becomes Jake Skywalker drinking the green milk, living like a hermit. That's because they had no plan. Well, I think that was always part of the plan. Shit on the original characters, prop up the new ones. How they get there, that didn't really matter to them. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.